Hello G fans, it is Gojio4 with you once again. Hi, I just want to say a quick few words before I get into my actual message. I'm making a short film this summer. It's called The Day in the Life of a Dead Man, and I would like, some support for it. So if you want to help make that short film happen, uh, click a link below to find out more information and also donate. And that's all I'm going to say on it. Alright, now on to my main thing. So guys, have you heard the latest news? I don't know if you have. Three big things. Two big pieces of news. One that I was trying to talk to, but I kind of didn't get a chance to skim over it. And I haven't heard much about it since. A couple days after Comic-Con ended, there were some rumors hitting the internet. And one of them was a big rumor that Hedra was going to be the new Godzilla villain. Right? Well, you know what? That rumor has just disappeared now. I don't see it anywhere at all. Now, I did talk about it in my last video, so I remember explaining to you guys why that would possibly be true. Well, now, here's some new news. SH Monster Arts has released their newest figure, Batra, which I have yet to find online for any pricing, except in Japan. So, they have Biolante on pre-sale in some websites, so this December, and Kiru, but Batra I haven't heard anything yet, and I'm thinking Batra will be a release for next year. Next year, ladies and gentlemen, 2014 is almost upon us. Like, I know it's still July, but we're less than 200 days. No, we're less than 300 days away. We're like 290 something. So, in that, on a quest that has taken since, for some of us G fans, since 2009 we heard about this movie. So that is going to be, I've been waiting for this thing for 4 years, so waiting another couple months now, 10 months, is not a problem. Okay, so then the other big news is this word from Gareth Edwards, who was interviewed. And, he's been talking a lot lately, and he's been doing a great job of just explaining his vision for the film and what kaiju mean to him and what the theme and symbolism of it is all. And he's doing a fantastic job, and it's great because we get to kind of contrast it with Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is kind of, it's a little more fun, it's a little more like, it's a big wrestling match. There's some elements of like a deeper meaning to people and hope in a way, but that's it's honestly it's kind of a big cage match. It's more of a fun children's movie with a lot of fantasy, while Godzilla is being treated much deeper and darker, and there's a lot of context and things that it's trying to say. So that's why Gareth Edwards really, and I love how much he's referencing Gojira, the original. He says it's his favorite, and he also says that he's trying to borrow the look for the new Godzilla movie and just the feeling. So, but then he said if he was to do a sequel, he would really like to do it like his second favorite film, Destroy All Monsters. In my opinion, but we don't really care mine about mine. Destroy All Monsters is a pretty, it's a fun monster movie. To those fans who have seen it, it's kind of one of those that like, it's probably very well known. It's one of the more famous ones. It's got a bunch of giant monsters in it. This is cool. But honestly, it's a little bit of a bore at times. It's kind of like there's a lot of human drama that's kind of boring and bad acting, and it's a little slow at times, and it drags on a lot. And it's a little heavy on the sci-fi. And some of the main problems that Godzilla vs. Monsters Zero had, in my opinion, but that's still a better film, I think. Destroy All Monsters is pretty good, but like the best moments are the destruction of Tokyo and the final battle scene. And then the whole like flaming phoenix thing is like kind of a huge waste of an ending. They should have just ended it after King Ghidorah gets his butt whooped. And I won't say what actually happens to him for those of you who have seen it, have not seen it. What G fan hasn't seen it? So, anyway, point is, Gareth Edwards wants to do something similar, like a giant monster island film with a bunch of creatures, and I think that's absolutely genius. Some people have been saying, oh my God, save that for sequels. But I think, now we don't know anything about this new Godzilla movie, so we don't know anything about the rules and the reason why Godzilla exists or other monsters would yet. But I would imagine it's something to do with nuclear radiation. And one has to think that, well, if Godzilla and other monsters could happen, why wouldn't other monsters show up? And there's possibly even more, because as we know, once you mutate something and it has the ability to reproduce, and it'll just keep mutating, and then all of a sudden you've got tons of creatures running all over the planet, because that would just happen. And so that would make a lot of sense. And he said he would want to do it realistically, and my thinking is that if the governments of the world could figure out how to corral these creatures, it would be two things. They would either take an island and shove them on there somehow, leave them there, and then build like a giant blockade or a wall or fortress a la the seawall of Pacific Rim to keep the monsters in, or they would abandon some large piece of land that's like an island or something and evacuate it and then trap the monsters there. You could have like, not something like Australia, because Australia is way too big, but maybe like Indonesia, one of the islands of Indonesia or something, one of the bigger ones, or maybe some islands in the like they evacuate the Philippines and then they like build a giant blockade around it. I can imagine that happening. I mean, that would suck for the Philippines, but I'm pretty sure the governments of the rest of the world would be like, who cares? We gotta trap these things. Fuck the people who live there. And like, we've seen that happen all the time through history. Governments don't give a crap about other people. They would totally do it. And there we go. Now we have some interesting political problems happening because, well, once you keep these creatures here, and what happens to the people you kicked out? Now you've got refugees. A whole country just kind of got removed off the map to make room for these guys. And then how do you keep them there? Do you build walls? Do you build, do you have a blockade? If you have a blockade, what do these soldiers do all day? Do they just sit there? And then how do you contain the king of the monsters? And then the biggest question of all is, what about King Ghidorah? Because we all know that he was kind of the other star of destroying all monsters, is King Ghidorah. And would he show up then? And then how do you make that realistic? And King Ghidorah is a quandary I've thought about with this new Godzilla series. If it's going to be real, how the hell do you do King Ghidorah? And there's only two ways I really see it. You either make him some kind of like mutation, like Godzilla, because that's what's happening, it seems like a mutation, and you make him an Earth mutation that maybe they tried to combine several kaiju together and it created one big one. Or he really is from space. And then I would think that King Ghidorah is like almost like the typical. We see him like he's a big predator. And he goes from planet to planet eating wildlife. Kind of. And planets are his food source. And when he sees Godzilla, it's like a challenge. It's another predator, so he has to eliminate it because it's trying to to get full access to the food source. That's how I could see King Ghidorah as kind of like a big space predator if they're going for a realistic angle. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So those are just my thoughts, my ideas on Gareth Edwards. Check out the new Batra. I'll put it below, and then also support my film. If you want more information about that, look below. I have a website and everything to link to. So you all be good people. You all enjoy your Friday. Take it easy. I'll be telling you more news. And guys, we're on the end of this. This is it. Like, now that Comic-Con is over, G-Fest is over, the summer movie season is going to start to wind down now. This is the last, like, big... That's it. There's nothing else really to look forward to. Pacific Rim is done. I'll probably go see it again, but I mean, it's done. It came out. Now it's Godzilla. There's nothing else coming out. So here we go. All right, take it easy, guys. Bye.